Today, I am making no-bake cookie butter Nanaimo bars. And I know this is a controversial statement, but I think I might like these even better than classic Nanaimo bars. And don't get me wrong, Nanaimo bars are one of my all-time favorite desserts, but something about the caramelized spices of Biscoff cookies and cookie butter just works so well in this. And if you're unfamiliar, Nanaimo bars are a classic Canadian dessert, and they were invented in Nanaimo, BC in the 1950s. Basically, they consist of 3 layers. The bottom layer is a coconutty graham cracker crust, the middle layer is a buttercream custard frosting, and the top layer is a thick layer of chocolate ganache. But in my version, I add in an element of Biscoff cookies to every single layer. So in that bottom base layer, which is typically a coconutty, chocolatey mix of graham cracker crumbs, I also add in crushed up Biscoff cookies. Then in that second custardy layer, I also fold in homemade Biscoff cookie butter, which I promise is so easy to make. And then last but not least, on top of that chocolate ganache, I sprinkle on more Biscoff cookie crumbs because not only is this a really pretty decoration, but it also lets you know before you even take your first bite that this is not your average Nanaimo bar. And I know that making cookie butter from scratch might seem intimidating, but trust me, it is truly so easy and it only takes a couple minutes. Plus, it's way more affordable than store-bought cookie butter, and in my opinion, it tastes way better. That said, if you want to use store-bought for this, you absolutely can. And last but not least, the one special ingredient that you do need for this recipe is Bird's custard powder. It pretty much makes the recipe foolproof because it prevents that buttercream custard layer in the middle from separating or melting. Plus, Bird's custard powder is actually what makes Nanaimo bars so distinctly Canadian, because when they were invented in the 1950s, this was a staple in every Canadian pantry. Today, you can still find it at pretty much every major Canadian grocery store, and if you're outside of Canada, you should still be able to find it online. First things first, we're going to start by making our homemade cookie butter, and to do that, we'll blitz half a package of Biscoff cookies in the food processor. Once the cookies are fine crumbs, we'll steadily stream in 75 milliliters of hot water. The mixture should be smooth and creamy, and from here we can add in a quarter teaspoon salt, half a tablespoon of honey, a half tablespoon of fancy molasses, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give that another quick blitz before adding in 2 tablespoons of softened butter. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make your very own cookie butter. And this recipe actually makes slightly more than what you need for the Nanaimo bars. To use up the leftovers, I love whipping it up into a cookie butter latte or making a scrumptious batch of cookie butter French toast. Next up, we need to make the base layer for our Nanaimo bars. And for that, we need 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs, so I blitzed 12 graham crackers in my food processor. And next up, we need a half a cup of Biscoff cookie crumbs, so I blitzed up about a third of the package. And if you don't have a food processor, you could definitely crush these up by hand, but the food processor does make it a lot easier. Next, we'll add in 1.5 cups of sweetened shredded coconut before moving on to the chocolate component. And this is actually what holds that whole base layer together. So to make it, we'll set up a double boiler. Then we'll add in 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 egg, plus a quarter cup of sugar, a quarter cup of cocoa powder, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Set this over medium heat and continue to whisk as the water simmers. After a minute or two, the mixture should thicken and you can remove it from the heat. We want it to look glossy and thick, just like this. From there, we'll pour it over our mixture of graham cracker crumbs, Biscoff crumbs, and shredded coconut. Give it a good stir to combine. The mixture should have the texture of wet sand. And the nice thing about using the double boiler method for this is it guarantees that that egg we added in is fully cooked through, but we didn't have to do any baking. And before we start assembling our Nanaimo bars, we'll grease and line an 8 by 8 inch baking pan. And I like to use 2 pieces of parchment paper for this, so the parchment paper hangs over all 4 sides. This way, it's super easy to lift the Nanaimo bars out of the pan once they're done setting. And I also like to use these little clips to secure my parchment paper in the pan, but this is totally optional and you don't need them if you don't have them. And now that our pan is ready to go, we can start pouring in our base layer. And here I'm using both a regular spatula and an offset spatula to press those crumbs down into that base layer. You can use whatever works for you. Your hands are also a great tool for this. One of the reasons I really like the offset spatula for this is that it helps press everything down into a nice, even, smooth layer. I also just find this process to be super satisfying, but truly anything works for this. Once that layer is smooth and even, we'll pop this in the fridge and move on to making our buttercream custard. And for that, we'll start by beating 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter until it's slightly fluffy. Then we'll add in 3 tablespoons of Bird's custard powder, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. We'll continue to beat that until it's well combined and it turns a bright yellow color like this. From there, we'll add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 cup of icing sugar, and no need to sift for this, it's not necessary. Continue to beat this for about 2 to 3 minutes or until the mixture is smooth, light, and fluffy. From there, we'll add in that half cup of homemade cookie butter and mix this together until it's just combined. It should be a beautiful light brown color like this, and at this point, you're welcome to give it a quick taste test. From there, we'll pop our base layer out of the fridge and spread our beautiful buttercream custard right on top. And I did get out my offset spatula once again to make this layer super smooth, but it actually doesn't need to be because the chocolate ganache is going on top anyway. So just do your best to make this layer as smooth and even as possible, and then you can pop it back into the fridge. And last but not least, we need to make our chocolate ganache. And once again, we're going to use the double boiler method for this. So in a bowl over a simmering saucepan of hot water, we'll combine 6 ounces of dark chocolate and 3 tablespoons of butter. We'll stir that together until both the chocolate and the butter have completely melted and combined. Then we'll remove the ganache from the heat and stir in 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. At this stage, the ganache should be beautifully thick and glossy and smooth. And once it looks like this, it's officially ready to pour over the buttercream custard layer of our Nanaimo bars. Once again, we just want to spread this on in a thick, even layer. If you like your Nanaimo bars to have a little texture on top, you can swirl in designs with your spatula like this, or if you want them to be super even and smooth, you can use the offset spatula like I do here. And last but not least, while the chocolate is still setting, we'll go ahead and crush up more Biscoff crumbs and sprinkle them on top. Finish off with a generous sprinkle of flaky sea salt and then pop these back into the fridge for about 30 minutes or until the chocolate has fully set. Once the chocolate has gone from glossy to matte like it has here, you know it's set and you're ready to slice into your bars. Because we greased and lined our baking pan, the Nanaimo bars should pop right out. All you have to do is gently peel that parchment off the sides and start slicing. Now because I love these Nanaimo bars so much, I tend to cut my squares pretty generously. But if you plan on making these for a crowd, you could absolutely get away with cutting these to about half the size shown here because they are pretty rich and a little goes a long way. And be sure to store these in the fridge and serve them straight from there because these do tend to get a bit melty and soft once you leave them at room temperature for too long. And one of my favorite parts of the Nanaimo bar is being able to see all those 3 distinct layers. So as you're cutting, if you notice that your layers start to get a bit messy, I recommend just running your knife under some hot water and giving it a quick wipe down before you start slicing again. My Nanaimo bars have chilled and they're ready to eat. And you know, everyone has a different opinion on what the perfect ratio of a Nanaimo bar should be, but to me, this is absolutely perfect. You know, I love when the base layer and the custard layer are about the same thickness, with the chocolate on top just being a little bit thinner. So good. This is so good.